Hello folks, this is the last video of our tutorial for you to start making more asynchronous lessons. Remember, asynchronous lessons are pre-recorded material that you uploaded before so that your students can access that material and start doing something, do a task, right? A couple of reminders. It's very important for you to have an objective, for everything, I know, but what is the objective of watching the video? So you watch the video to do something. And what is it that your students are going to do? They're going to have to write a list. They're going to have to draw something. They're going to have to create a project. They're going to have to record themselves using the video, the camera, upload the video. They're going to have to send you a voice message to practice the pronunciation of something. They're going to have to take a picture of their family. They're going to have to interview their family. So the video should have that characteristic. Or it could be simply they're going to have to do exercise 4, page, whatever in their book. That's fine. But also some very important tips for us to end this tutorial. And I think the key word is interact. Interact. Look at those kids. They're watching something fun, something engaging. So when you're doing synchronous lessons, when you're live with your students, they can interact more with you. If they know how to write, they can use the chat box to chat with you, or you can simply open their microphones, their cameras for them to do something. But the problem is if you just do online lessons all the time, it gets a little boring, a lot of kids trying to interact, but you don't have time to interact with everyone. Some kids with their cameras and microphones off might not even be there. They might be playing on their cell phones or, so there are many disadvantages also that we have to think of when we're talking about synchronous lessons. But with asynchronous lessons, it's a little harder, I think, in some ways, to create interaction. Don't you think so? Don't you think so? What did I just do? I asked you a question, and I think asking questions is a great way to interact. So if you go back to the previous videos, there were a couple of moments that I asked you to pause the video to answer a question, or I asked you a question to get you thinking about something, and that's very important. So you can do that with kids. So what is this? What is this shape? What is this color? Or change this sentence to the past. Or what's the verb missing? Wait a couple of seconds, come closer to the camera, try to interact as if they were there, okay? If they're old enough to pause, you can ask them to pause. I actually included that tip there as well. So pausing is a great tool for them because it allows them to do things in their own time. That's perfect. That's why asynchronous lessons are great, because you can ask them to pause. And also you can actually allow them to go back if they have to. Their mom came and asked something during the asynchronous lesson, and then you were talking, and then they missed something. So they can pause, they can listen to their moms, and say, okay, mom, I'll talk to you later. I'm doing my English lesson. And then they can go back, right? So they can go back, and then they can look for the part that they missed, and they can listen to it again, and they can do whatever you ask them to do. So ask questions, tell them to pause. If they are very, very young learners, they don't know how to use the controls, just give them time to do the things you ask, okay? It's totally fine, that's okay. It's actually effective, we know that. Again, we're talking about an emergency type of teaching. It's never gonna be perfect. We know that kids need social interaction. They have to be in the same environment as the adult. And so parents are gonna play a very important role there to help kids turn on and off the computer, the tablets, the phone, and things like that. But you try to make your videos as interactive as possible. Also, give them projects. Like I said, it's important for them to have an objective. If I watch the video I will have to do this. And this is going to be something that tomorrow, when I do the online lesson, when I do the synchronous lesson with my teacher is going to ask about. So when you start the class, you're going to go like, hello, kids, hello, students. Did you watch the video yesterday? Great. So did you do it? The thing that I asked you to do? Great. Let's check. Let's revise. Or you have a quiz prepared, something like that to help them. They're going to feel lost, a little lost if they haven't watched the video. But there's also a purpose in doing that. I think we can help kids create this sense of responsibility that you have to do something, you have to read something, you have to watch something so that you can keep up with the class, right? With the other lessons. And I feel like this is something they told me at the university in the UK. I feel like Brazilian students don't have this sense of responsibility. And maybe we can help create this sense of, like, we have a lot of reading materials, a lot of things to do before the lesson. We normally don't do those things well compared to other students, but this might just be prejudice. But I certainly feel like a lot of my classmates didn't do what they were supposed to do before the lesson. So we can help kids do that by assigning projects. And I think, to give you an example, because it's all very abstract, why don't you ask your kids, after they watch something, maybe present continuous or present simple, why don't you ask your kids to film their parents and their family? Of course, just be careful, with the situation, but ask them to film their parents doing something or things that they normally do, and narrate. So they can go around the house, they can get their phones, and they can go to the kitchen and they can film their dads cooking. And then they can say, my dad is cooking now. My dad is preparing this. Or they can actually say, my dad cooks every Monday and Tuesday. And then my mom cooks on Wednesdays and Thursdays or whatever. So this is a great way to narrate. They don't even have to use their cameras. They could just go around narrating. They can record the audio. So just, WhatsApp can do that. The Vocaroo, like I said. So, oh, my dad is doing this now. My mom is doing this now. I'm recording everyone. I'm watching everyone and recording everyone. This is a great way for them to do that. They can also interview someone. If there's someone in the house who speaks English well, they can get them on camera saying that, answering the questions. That's a great way. And you're giving your students the possibility of using their own resources, their own technology, their own devices, which is great. You could also ask them to do something that involves being with the family, and they can take a picture. So maybe they can cook together and they can revise the vocabulary about fruits and vegetables, for example, or food vocabulary, for example. They could call their friends, they could call their classmates, their peers on WhatsApp, maybe like a video call, and have a quick conversation in English. They could actually use Zoom to do that and record the video, like a 5-minute conversation. So use Zoom, get your friend, record yourself having a conversation, like a dialogue with your friend, and then send me the video. But again, you don't have to do that every lesson, but it's a nice way to get them to interact. They know that after the video, they have to do something. They can simply do something that is in the book. Just do something that is in the book, okay? And then finally, check understanding. I think checking understanding is very important. At the end of the lesson, ask them, try to remember everything we discussed. What can you remember? Do you remember this? And then check. And then, of course, in the following class, hopefully an online lesson, you can revise. You can start the lesson by checking if they really understood everything or most of the things. They will never understand everything, right? But if they understood the things that gave them the possibility to do the thing you wanted them to do, the assignment, So you have to check understanding, all right? Folks, revise. I can't stress this enough. Revision is very important because you activate their prior knowledge. You make sure that they are on the same page before you start something new. So revise, and it's important even with the video. So when you're creating asynchronous lessons, you can do a revision lesson, or you can do a bunch of quizzes like, okay, this is video 1 and we're going to revise this, and then you can make a game. You can have a fill in the gap game, right? So you can project your PowerPoint, your slides, with fill in the gap, and then you give them time to do that, revising what they did the previous lesson. You can play a more interactive, more engaging game. So there are many things you can do, right? All right, folks, this is the last video of this tutorial. And because I'm going to facilitate my life, like I've been doing so far, I want you to know that there are some video editing tools that you can use to put your videos together, to cut your videos, and to save your videos in an easy format to use later and upload them. So I'm going to post a series of very short videos about Clipchamp, okay? You can use KineMaster. I use VideoPad. There are, I think Blender. There are many websites that you can upload your videos, put them together in the sequence, cut them, save them, and upload to Google Classroom, okay? I do that with Zoom. So I just record a video, save it, and then upload to Google Classroom. It's easier. You can do that with Google Hangouts, with Google Meet, But there are things that you can use online to help you do that. And since other people did that, they actually recorded the tutorials, what I'm going to do is only share the tutorials for you to watch them and, develop the skill. I don't want you to be professional editors, like changing every little thing, but to be able to cut the stuff you don't need and put together the stuff you need together. That's it, okay? And save the video and upload the video. That's it. Thank you very much. I hope this tutorial was useful. It was longer than I had planned, but I think it's more complete now. You can watch the whole thing on the same day, or you can watch a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow, a little bit the next day, and so on. That's why asynchronous lessons are great, because they give you more time, they give you flexibility, and to be fair, you can watch the thing in your pajamas with some coffee. I got my cat mug here, and having fun, relaxing, and just making your life easier. Remember to take care of yourself. Remember to ask me questions if you need to ask questions. And that's it. I hope this helps you create awesome asynchronous lessons, and see you when I see you.